What up, my friends? Welcome to Daisy's Garden. Today I'm going to be discussing how I feel after a year plus of being vegan. So to start, I should obviously explain how long I have been vegan. So in November of 2015, I stopped eating meat, and then I was vegetarian for 2 or 3 months, and then in early February of 2016 is when I went vegan. The first month, I did not like it very much. The thing that really helped me was you gotta have the right intention and the right motivation to be vegan. The sole way to have the best motivation is ethically, because I feel like if you are vegan because it's just better for you, because you know it's more clean, then you could stray away from it more because you might have a day where you're kind of maybe craving a milkshake or something, and you're like, oh well, you know, one milkshake, you know, out of all the times, you know, I don't eat animal products, it won't hurt me. But ethically, you're gonna look at it as, okay, well there's pus and blood, and a calf had to get stripped from their mother for that. Like, you really understand the garbage that goes into it, and you refrain because you don't break the connection. You know, the connection stays sealed. The first month was a little hard, but that helped keep me motivated. I think there were two things. I think the first thing that I've heard a lot of vegans have problems with is they don't eat enough. Obviously, you get tired. So I feel like that was part of my problem. And number two is my body had to detoxify. And that one I understood. That one made more sense to me than undereating, because I felt like I was eating enough, but who knows? I wasn't tracking it. But I went on to track it earlier this year, but I'll get into that because I want to go chronologically here. The first month came and went, and I was feeling a ton better. The second month, I felt super good, and honestly, it's pretty much plateaued. I've noticed my body has felt just way cleaner, has felt better. My mental space and activity has been super clear, a lot of clarity, and it's been really awesome. I've definitely felt a lot happier. I felt more optimistic. It's been amazing. And of course, part of that, I will say that, you know, meditation and having the lifestyle of loving everything and, you know, a spiritual practice. That's also helped a lot, but veganism made me feel like less of a hypocrite, because I preach a lot about loving and compassion to everything, and I feel like it's hypocritical if I were to say that and then, you know, turn the camera off, go down to edit, and then I'll have turkey sandwich or something with a glass of milk. You know, I feel like to me that's hypocritical. And if you're gonna preach about, you know, loving the world, loving yourself, all that stuff, all that jazz, loving animals, you gotta show it. You know, you can't just stick your head in the sand. You have to face up to what's going on. You know, that's what all vegans had to do. Well, from my perspective, I didn't grow up vegan. I was on the traditional diet for 20 years of my life, and then I was like, okay, you know, I'm definitely doing something wrong here. So I changed my lifestyle. It's been amazing. And along the way, you know, you learn about, you know, new aspects of why veganism can be a great thing, not just for the animals, but for yourself, you know, and for yourself, because, you know, obviously I just discussed some health reasons, but the planet, you know, animal agriculture is so bad for the planet, so bad for our water, our natural resources, the air, I mean, like the Amazon, and it's very sad, you know. I don't really know, I can't find a specific agreed upon number for the percent that animal agriculture contributes to deforestation, but I think it's like 90%. It's something crazy. And all the grains that we produce, like 60% of the US grains go toward animals. So, you know, a little funny thing, a lot of people like to claim the plants have feelings thing, which is funny because if 60% of the grain goes toward animals to eat, you're contributing more plant deaths than vegans are. So if people want to pull that card, it's funny because they're contributing more plant deaths than vegans. So just a little funny thing. that I wanted to say. I was very curious about making sure that I was eating enough, because I'm a very thin guy, you know, so I want to make sure that I'm eating enough to where I feel good, have energy, mental clarity, you know, make sure everything's running all right. I downloaded the Cronometer app, which I think is like $2, and it's an amazing nutrient calorie tracker, pretty similar to MyFitnessPal, but I really prefer Cronometer. I've used both, definitely prefer Cronometer. I don't know, honestly, I think it's just a personal preference. It's very colorful and I don't know, it's just more enticing to me. So for about a month and a half, I was tracking what I was eating, and that was earlier this year. And I was averaging about 3,300 calories a day, like 110 to 120 grams of protein, which is a big thing because a lot of people think that that's hard to do on a vegan diet when all foods essentially contain protein, because protein is part of what makes up a calorie. But as long as you're getting enough calories in protein-rich foods, if that's what you're, you know, if you're really making sure you're getting enough, then you'll have plenty. So that's something to keep in mind. And then I was getting all my nutrients. The only thing that I noticed that I was having a problem with was selenium. Selenium was the only thing that I was seeming to have problems with. I got back on that. Vitamin D was a little bit of one, but one, you can get that from an hour of sunlight, and vitamin D is in fortified milks. You can get everything in a vegan diet very easily, and it's a very beneficial thing. Another aspect of veganism besides, you know, ethical, health, and environmental is, you know, if you're part of a community that really dislikes major corporations, it's your best bet to combat those because you're not supporting them. Not only do I not eat animal products, but I also buy products that weren't tested on animals, because these corporations are good at advertising, and they're good at putting billboards up and ads in videos and on TV and stuff, and it's a good way to not support them. It's great. I'm one of those people where I really dislike major corporations. I like to, you know, shop at my local market and, you know, buy things that, you know, like L'Oreal, or, I mean, I'm not even trying to name. L'Oreal just came to my head, you know, shampoo. I use Beauty Without Cruelty. That's a great shampoo. And I use Death by Lavender and Kiss My Face. I use those, smell really good, get the job done, and animals didn't need to be hurt in the process. So that's also really cool. Of course, it's more expensive argument can come up. And for those kind of products, they can be, you get what you're paying for. And what's more important, you know, an extra couple dollars or buying something that's tested on animals? You know, you can do what you want. I'm not going to judge anybody for what they do. But, you know, I'm just saying, if it's that important to you to spend an extra couple bucks, do it. But when it comes to food, the staple foods are the cheapest foods. It's only when you get into processed vegan foods, that's when you get, you know, when it's more expensive. But if you just eat more whole foods, it's going to be cheaper. That argument doesn't make sense either, because it's cheaper if you buy whole foods, you know, rice and potatoes and beans and stuff. So you can go that route. I mean, I personally, you know, I like my chia seed. I like my superfoods. I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford them, so I do. I do buy them because chia seeds can definitely get expensive. Flax seeds are very cheap. I get flax seeds a lot. Oatmeal or oats are cheap. You know, and I like to get the only thing that I'd say that I supplement with, even though I wouldn't really count it as a supplement, is I use Garden of Life meal replacement in my smoothies because it tastes good. There's so many fucking nutrients in them. You pretty much get like your whole day's worth of nutrients from not just from that, like from my smoothie. I put bananas and spinach and almond milk, cacao powder, peanut butter powder, and then that stuff, and then sometimes some blueberries. I get essentially all the nutrients I need in one day in a smoothie, which is amazing because I'm always very conscious of making sure that I'm getting enough nutrients. You know, sometimes if I don't get enough calories, you know, obviously what are you gonna do? But I feel better if I got the nutrients than the calories. That's just me. Another funny thing that I noticed is I've always been a thin person. My entire life, I've been a thin person. A big thing about me going vegan that I was nervous about was making sure I was eating enough. Because since I'm a thin guy, I don't have a big stomach, so I don't generally eat a lot of food. I generally eat a little bit throughout the day. I don't have like big meals. And I mean, I like that. You know, if I'm hungry, I'll eat till I'm satisfied and not just gorge myself. And it feels good, so I like that. But that was something I was nervous about. When I went vegan, I gained, from when I went vegan to now, I've gained about 10 pounds. I did get a little lazy for the past few weeks. And I wasn't eating enough, and I started noticing that, and because I was feeling more tired, and then I jumped back on it, and I'm good again. But it's just funny because I was really concerned about that, and then I gained weight. So that is fucking awesome. And that's a thing that I'm just personally proud of myself for. That's another great aspect for me about being a year plus into being vegan. And, you know, just the people. There's so many people on YouTube that I watch, like Happy Healthy Vegan, Plantriotic, John Venus, Mike the Vegan, he's a great one too. Those are pretty much the ones that I watch, but I know there's like Brian Turner, the Happy Vegan Couple, I believe is their name. But yeah, off the top of my head, those are other ones that I've heard people talk about. It's just, it's a great community, you know, it's just a very compassionate, loving community, and it's just nice to be a part of. But yeah, so that's really all I have to say about it. I just wanted to make this video because it's been a while that I've been vegan now, and I just wanted to explain the difference that I found and spread the message of veganism, because it's a great thing for everything, every aspect of life. It's better for health, ethical, planet, and for, you know, more local business. So you're not supporting big ass corporations that are doing this shit knowingly and are advertising it to be a good thing, a healthy thing. You know, grass-fed, humane slaughter, you know. I feel like if you're vegan, you've heard this before, and it's a bullshit argument. It's a great thing to not support them. You're supporting local businesses that are, you know, mostly family owned. It's a great thing. So that is really all I have to say about veganism and my year plus that I have had doing it. And I definitely don't see that changing at all, because I'm deep into this and I really love it, and there's no reason to go back on it. So I plan on this being my lifestyle for the rest of my life, because it promotes nothing but positivity to the world. And it makes me happy. Until then, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this and took something from it, and, you know, maybe helped you decide to self-reflect, you know. And I'm gonna reiterate something. If you aren't vegan, it's okay. At least for me, I'm not one to judge anybody else, because, you know, I did it myself and I understand what it's like, so I can't sit there and shame somebody into doing it. So don't think you're a terrible person, you know, just self-reflect, and if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you. And if it does, hell yeah, you know, do more research into it, because there's so much you can look up. You know, like the YouTubers I mentioned, maybe I'll put their links in the description, or I'll just put their names up when I set them, so then you can just type it into Google or YouTube, because I'm sure it'll take you to the same thing. Google and YouTube are the same damn thing. I hope you're all having a great day today. And don't forget those nature baths and those prana breaths to keep you grounded in the present moment, my friends. See you later.